Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre Community RITE Night, which means of course some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre, featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then look no further, because you can join said Discord group by clicking on that link right there. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that and you'll find all the various requests that you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players' songs, characters, masteries, even talismans, and Titan Stars are all fair game. Let's hop into versus mode, and I'll set ourselves back to our defaults. But let me know if anyone would like to get us started today. And Failer, I saw you doing the message of what is basically the line that the lines that I've been doing for the past several years, and then it totally got in my head and completely messed me up as I was going through it there. So, whoops. Maybe not quite as flowing as it might usually be. I was like, wait, no, I said it in the wrong order. Oh no, now the flow is all off. What did I do? Alright, well anyways, let me hop into Discord. Okay. I am all set. He did get me. He did get me. Also, I was thinking, Failer started saying it, and then I jumped in and gave him a hint for what the next line was when he got stuck, and then I realized, oh wait, no. I skipped a line when I wrote it down. And I was thinking of that too. It's like, no. How long have we been doing this for? Come on, Lids. Oh, actually, hold on. My controller is still plugged in. Let me change that, because that, as we know, has a tendency at times to cause some issues with remote play. It is now unplugged. We should be good to go. Wait, Macaws! Why haven't we've had... I'm pretty sure we've had a RITE Night on Halloween before. Or if not, the day before. We've come extremely close, because I know we've done RITE Nights themed around the Halloween stuff before, or at least loosely. Some requests based on Halloween costumes and what have you, but we definitely did not call it Fright Night, and that is such a missed opportunity. Oh. How could we have missed that? Goes to check what day of the week Halloween is on this year. Hold on. Legitimately, though. What day of the week is Halloween this year? Halloween 2025. Why? Okay. That was not helpful. It's Friday? Ah. Now we got something to look forward to. I mean, we can... do you do it in November then? A few days after? I don't know. Or do you do it several days before in that case? It's not ideal. It's not ideal, but alas, we have several months before we get there. So plenty of time to plan that one out. But anyways, let me know if anyone would like to get us started today, or if we have any requests we'd like. Oh man. I'm so tempted to drop the... Wait, hold on. Who sings this song? Is it Joan Jett? Yes. Bad Reputation by Joan Jett. So tempted to just break into Bad Eputation. We need a cover right now. Somebody get on that. But anyways, it does look like we have some people hanging out who, well, up to you, of course, if anyone would like to get us started, or if there's anything request-wise we'd like to do, although generally I do think it's best to establish who's in first. And I don't know, I mean, Macaws was talking about how, you know, will today be a good day to be a Macaws fan? Only time will tell. Is that time right now, or are you thinking a little bit later, Macaws? What are you thinking? Lilac, what, I mean, the discovery that we should have done Fright Night. Whenever our previous Fright Night that happened on Halloween was. That I think happened at one point in time. Then Failer getting in my head on the intro, throwing me off a little bit, getting in my own head. Ah, okay, Macaws. Waiting for the big one, the Liberation Rite, I see. Macaws only plays when it matters most. He's a big game kind of gamer, you know? Well, in that case, is there anyone who would like to get us started? As we have Macaw strategically waiting. I see that. I see that. Well, at the moment, not seeing anyone immediately jumping up and down, waving their arms, saying, "Get me in." So I think we have both spots there for the taking. Unless, Lilac, if you'd like to, you're welcome to. What are we thinking? No one at the moment, Luis. Thought Macaws and Lilac were gonna be on first. I mean, okay, Murph is volunteering here. Lilac says need some food first. Okay, but it looks like we have at least one of the two people. In that case, let me get an invite out for Murph. Anything, or anyone, in that case, who would like to face off against Murph? Oh, Macaw's very polite. Very chivalrous. Am I seeing you? Am I seeing you on Steam right now, though?
Hey.
Hello, how's it going? Oh, there you are. Okay, perfect.
Hey. Awesome. As agreement with Macaws to go first against Murph.
I think we can do some Murph Angel action, and then Macaws is strategically waiting for the playoffs to begin. And by playoffs, I mean specifically the Liberation Rite.
I think I failed to click the join button correctly.
Oh, do you need me to resend?
Yeah.
Just picked.
Let's see.
Hope it works, because for some reason the Steam Deck can be temperamental. Okay, precisely 0 happened, but I don't know if that's because you're resending.
Let me see. This may be a restart Steam moment.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it just kicks me out.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I could always restart. I mean, we could all restart Steam.
The fix for this is the host restart Steam, as far as I know.
Yeah, let me do that real quick.
I'll restart too, just to roll that out as well.
Exit Steam. Waiting for Pyre to shut down. Okay. Let's see. Steam, did you have any? Yes, Steam had an update. Of course it did. Thanks, Steam. I suspect that may have been the cause. Okay, let me get Pyre booted back up. Yeah, so Lilac, I think it's, on one hand, it's one of those things, the whole question of, simply just sitting down and playing normal matches of Pyre with little to no requests, having players do the particular setups they prefer to do, and less downtime, because we have less time coordinating what sorts of requests people are looking for. That's one approach, and then on the other end of the spectrum, there's, doing frequent requests, doing elaborate requests, ones that take more time to coordinate or parse out exactly how they work. And I think if you go on the first end of the spectrum, the whole just playing Pyre, no requests at all, on RITE nights at least, kind of deliberately, well, I mean, I set up the request there for a reason, to help get chat and other people in the community engaged, so it's not just, a whole bunch of people twiddling their thumbs waiting for their turn to go. So I think that's one aspect. And also, I know it's been a while since we've done one, but things like tournaments and or civil wars at times play a little bit more into the whole, okay, we're playing more specifically for the sake of winning and less for the sake of, or less / not at all for the sake of, abiding by specific chat requests. So that's sort of one end of the spectrum as well, or that's sort of like another reason why that can be a consideration. And since we haven't done any of those sorts of things for a while, I think maybe that sort of, we're not scratching that itch quite as much. So I think all that is to say there's a little bit of a balancing act between those two things, and everyone will have their own preferences in terms of how far they prefer to go in one direction versus the other direction. So I think personally for me, as the person organizing it and the person who is sort of the mediator between the players and chat, I probably lean a little bit more on the request side, but then for the people who are in the match themselves, they probably lean more towards the just play side of things. And then of course there's also like, you want to just play multiplayer rights, you can do that. You can do the whole let's what's the like, looking for matches, what's the official, that channel or what have you, can do the looking for matches, and you don't need to do that during RITE night. So it's sort of a little bit of a unique opportunity to take the requests on RITE night versus any other time or day of the week, if that makes any sense. I did see you disconnect, Angel, and then I just tried to re-invite you. Hopefully that works.
Yeah, give me 2 secs. It has this, so it flickers to like a grey screen on my Steam Deck, so I'll need to use my PC.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
For some reason, it does that on my Steam Deck. I don't know.
Let's see. Is it... Alright, okay. So Murph we have coming through on the controller, and yeah, at the moment it's not recognized. Well, you might not be in just yet. Yeah, the short answer, Lilac, is there's a case to be made for going with just matches and no requests at all, and then there's a case to be made for going more aggressively on the requests and whatnot. Each person will, of course, have their own preferences, so I try to strike a balance to the extent possible. Usually chat is pushing a little more in one direction, and the players themselves are pushing a little bit more in the other direction, so trying to find that middle ground, and sometimes, one end might be pushing a little harder than the other end, so just trying to balance that out a little bit at times.
Can you re-inv me?
Yes.
I'm pretty down for requests today. I got a lot of my competitive itch out yesterday playing with Core.
Yeah, and I mean I think honestly that can be a lot of it is just, you know, what kind of matches have you been playing a lot of recently? Have you been doing a whole bunch of requests, so you haven't had much time to just play a normal match? Or have you been doing a lot of more straightforward, competitive, or at least just, you know, whatever you prefer types of matches, in which case, all right, you know, we'll mix it up a little bit. Go with some compositions that you might not have otherwise taken. Did that one work, Angel? Still says invited, but doesn't say you've joined.
I joined, but then it kicked me out.
It's what I think I noticed, at least with one previous iteration, was as soon as I tabbed out, you disconnected. Which does make things a little tricky. Obviously, in the middle of a match, I'm hopefully not tabbing out at all, but at least as I'm sending people invites and entering in names on the stream and whatnot, it's a little bit more hopping back and forth, so I could try to proactively set you guys up so I minimize the number of times I need to click out. Maybe I'll do that. And then I'll send you an invite. And then I just won't touch it. Okay. Also means I'm just going to act on the assumption that... Oh, Makas, at the moment, are you player 2? By the looks of things? I ask because...
Wait, was I asked for? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Why did I say... I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Murph.
Okay,
Makas is like me?
yeah.
Makas is catching strays.
Player 1.
Murph,
Okay.
you're
It
one.
says player 1 is mouse, so I don't know. I have control over the reticle.
You do have control of the
loading.
reticle? Okay.
I did.
Okay, it's loaded.
Okay.
There's no game audio. Stop
Do
ringing.
that. And then Murph, Pyre Hearts was your team of choice?
That is who I have selected for today.
Okay. I turn you up a
I
little
don't have any
bit.
game audio for some reason. Got it set to my monitor, but never mind.
And then Angel, which team would you prefer to be? Everyone here
Um,
sounds the same.
Essence.
Essence for you? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Do I
I
need to
had to
click
think
anything
of which
else?
one it was.
Alright. I hopefully will not need to tab out much / at all anymore at this stage. So I'm going to send you the invite, and then I'm just going to stay tabbed in-game.
I should be in now, I think.
Oh, are you? Okay, perfect. Okay. Alright, and I don't think we have
Actually,
any...
might change because the colors are very similar here.
Oh, they are kind of similar, yes.
But I don't feel too bad about it. Here, I'll go accusers today.
Okay. I will tab out in that case. Brace yourselves. Okay. Fingers crossed. I think we're good. And at the moment, no requests. So we'll just leave this one up to the players.
Nope, that crashed it for me.
That did crash for you?
Greetings, exiles.
Yeah, I've got.
Welcome.
I'm looking
Oh.
at all my team windows and I've got nothing.
Alright, I'm gonna re-invite you as soon as the sermon intro is over in that case.
Let us see
Okay.
which one of you is more deserving.
I feel like
Accusers,
Makas and
stand
Murph
ready.
do sound kind of similar. Phaler, maybe it's just that I've known Phaler for a lot longer, so Phaler has more, I don't know, I'm just used to the way that Phaler sounds, but don't see the similarity as much with Phaler's voice.
I just could not say failures when they had the crew battle, but I just could not say that at all. Okay. Fingers crossed. Play game.
What's up, Ansa? How's it going? Okay, that's a good sound.
Okay.
Fingers crossed that it actually, you know, works and everything. Frost King, how are you? And Murph, do you still have control at this
Do
stage?
you still have control?
Okay, good, good,
Should I
good.
begin picking, or we?
Yeah, I
we in?
think let's
Okay.
let's proceed, and then the key question is going to be once we get to Angel's side. Hopefully everything is behaving properly. But yeah, no requests from chat for this one, so all up to the players.
Okay, I can move.
That's an encouraging sign.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
Actually, you'll notice that the first letter of her name is not an F.
I know.
Hey,
It's so strange. I must admit, I always pick Faye.
With an F?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's... what? Maybe May and Faye are probably the two most common, I feel like.
Okay, that's interesting. I think a couple of people here use like Z, like an X.
Hmm.
I think.
We must have done it, or I'm sure someone has. Oh, Bay is pretty common as well. Yeah, I'm sure someone has done a poll at some point. I don't know what kind
Yeah.
of sample size they were working from, but there has to be some information out there. I'm sure Supergiant could just outright tell you what the percentages were.
Probably.
Bertrude.
I don't know if I've ever heard anyone using Ray before. That's interesting. I mean, there are a lot of
No,
options.
Yeah. I wanted to have like an evil ending where you could side with the common,
Deluge.
but
Oh.
that's not possible.
And yeah, Blue, that is true. Technically speaking, in the game coding, her name is May. So if you wanted to make an argument for one answer being the quote-unquote correct answer, then that would probably be it, but I deliberately refer to her as the stowaway most of the time as a
Yeah.
neutral way. Stream appears to be looking fine on my end, I believe. Let me know if anyone else is having issues there.
A pyre has
But there is Murph getting started with a 19 damage throw from the Nomad Lendl. Here's Wolfred back over to Lendl. Okay, and perhaps a little bit of the Nomad plus Sap Shield strats. Oh my goodness, try saying that 5 times fast. With the long, airy Nomad jump, giving time to switch to the Sap and apply the shield. But that time, no shield necessary. Lendl throwing it straight in himself. No assistance needed. Big power cast from the Goals Bracer. helping clear out a lot more room for Lendl, setting up these throws.
There.
Here's the stowaway. She's blocked though, banished as well. Now it's Deluge,
A blow against the adversary.
and Murph goes straight in. 15 damage on that plunge, but with no prayer beads, does mean there is now no Deluge in this round. A little bit of room here for Pamitha, but she's blocked and banished. Back with Lendl, there is the shield we were talking about, and it does set up a plunge this time for the full 20 damage, of course, but now it means no Lendl in this round, and he has been a pretty critical piece to Murph's success. The one score, potentially all that Murph needs here, but at the moment it would need to come from just Volfred. He's been playing support in many ways, providing those shields, not doing much in the way of direct offensive moves.
Such a display.
And then 25 damage plunge. Was that the legendary talisman on Pamitha? Must have been, because she is back after plunging. Okay. But now, ooh, Angel defenseless. Stowaway returns just in time, though. Scoops up the orb. And now with her gone, Angel gets a couple reinforcements, quick save, double banishment from Bertrude.
That did not work well.
Pamitha. Blocked.
Oh, not enough
Banished.
stamina.
Volfred over to Lendl, and he jumps in for the win.
GG.
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 Was as though the scribes themselves stood by their side.
Well played, you two.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
All right. Well, let's head on back.
Until the next.
And let us know, chat, if there is anything you would like us to do for the next one. That one was just all up to the players. And Lilac is now turning Customize off. We have, well, there was a point in time, when a brief-ish moment in time, where we had a limited edition offer of the lid coin variety. Let me see. Let me take a quick look. How much was this? I did a thing at one point in time. I did a thing where I set up a reward that you could pay Lidcoin for at the maximum possible value to initiate the next civil war. And then, so of course, I think the first week nobody noticed because it was so exorbitantly expensive that no one could afford it and it flew under the radar somehow. But then what I did was every week, so it was like, you know, the cost was 9999999 or however, I don't know how many digits, but flew under the radar the first week. Then in the next week, I removed a digit. So I took one of those nines away, and then I did that every week. And it did people did eventually realize that it was there, of course, but they just dismissed it as, oh, it's just this crazy expensive thing that no one's ever going to be able to afford. And it took a very long time before people realized, oh, hey, Lids is actually lowering the price on this until eventually someone could afford it. And then that was how we initiated that civil war. It was one of the earlier ones. I don't remember if it was the first one or might have been the second one. But yeah, so at least on that occasion, yes, we did do something like that. But okay. For this match, we have the Customize off, so Randomize, Exiles, Masteries, and Talismans, and we have the Arena set for the Glade of Lu. And of course, won't even get to see what the setups are in advance, just gonna get thrown straight into the action.
Interesting,
Ready.
interesting.
The accusers shall confront the essence.
We've had several. We have had several civil wars. Okay, let's see. We have a harp. Oh, was that a shoulder smashing nomad? And then a worm. on Murph's side, that's actually some similarities to the team we saw Murph using last time, which was, of course, the team that Murph chose. Everyone down right now. Everyone down on, both sides for a split second there. 15 damage throw from Murph, and the team on Angel's side is 2 crones and a sap. The Mooncrest gives a chance for one of those crones to come back nearly instantly, and that is probably a good thing because this is... Angel has a team with almost the lowest possible hope across the board. So, if those exiles do get banished, it will take a long time for them to return, and that is tricky. And if that sap had the numbing gust, that would make a pretty dramatic difference, you would think, to cover for that. But of course, Angel did not get to choose this team. It was randomly bestowed by the will of the scribes and customized off. So Angel just needs to make do. Oh no, I thought that was Mooncrest on one of Angel's crones. That might be on Pamitha.
Okay.
On Murph's side. There is Pamitha for Murph. Currently by herself. Murph perhaps stalling, waiting to get Lady River back, but Edwin's permanently down here. And there is the 20 damage Harp Plunge.
Okay, that didn't jump. That was... I don't even know what the sap.
Did you just say ew the sap?
Yes.
Well, there is a 30 damage Crone Plunge. For what it's worth, I do really like this, the raiment colors on the second Crone for Angel. We don't see it very often, that color scheme. Oh, but there is some rekindling.
Oh.
So Angel's still holding on here. We don't see Essence very often these days, let alone 2 Crones on the Essence. Oh no, quick throw! Oh, for a second, I thought that throw from Murph was so quick that it did not have enough damage. It was just enough though, and Murph finishes the job.
GG.
GG.
Is ended.
Well played, you two. Alright, let's head on back. And let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like for the next one. What were you asking, Lilac? Hold on. Oh, was this just more questions about how the Civil War structure works, basically? I think. I mean, we've done quite a few at this point. It has been a long time since our last full-blown official tournament and full-blown Civil War. But the Civil War is basically the way it happens is there's some sort of conflict that we find some way to create or to at least create 2 sides of, and then basically we split people up. You pick which side you're going to represent, and then I think we typically did, it's a best 2 out of 3 series or best 3 out of 5 series. 3 out of 5, I might be thinking of the tournaments for that, but basically have people jump in, represent their team, and whoever wins that series earns a point for their team, and then at the end of the RITE Night, whichever team has the most points emerges victorious and is the winner of the Civil War. So, like, the first Civil War was Speedy Volfred versus Quarterback Manley, and the origin of that was, it was the original longest RITE ever, 40 plus minutes, and those were the stars of each team, Quarterback Manley on one side, Speedy Volfred on the other. So those were the teams we then recreated, or at least the teams you were representing for that Civil War. Nightbot, no. Was that Log Champ spam? Is that, wait, what was that? What was Nightbot even getting mad at you for? Yeah, stop spamming symbols? Was that Logjam then? I don't know. Or a boat, maybe? Probably a whole bunch of boats for an arena request, knowing Lilac. An ellipses? Hmm. Why did Nightbot get mad about that? That's weird. Yeah. I don't know, man. Well, anyways, let us know if there's anything you guys would like us to do for the next one. No worries, Ansa. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. It's on cooldown. Okay, well maybe in that case, we'll leave this one up to the players then. Oh, hold on. Oh, Ansa with a parting gift. I said that before I even saw Ansa's message. Okay, Ansa turned on Titan Stars and then said someone else choose them. So for what it's worth, that would mean these are Titan Stars that are making life more difficult for Murph / life easier for Angel. Lilac says activate the Titan who shall not be named. Blue agrees. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Guys, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned here. Everyone's suddenly jumping on that boat.
Yeah.
So, let's slow down on that front, okay, guys?
The Titan Star.
Okay.
All of them.
So, I did see a lot for this. The extra brain cell. What else am I seeing? Seeing some... Saw one mention of Shax, I think. From Murph. Okay. From the person who is going to be going up against Shax. That's saying something.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll respect that. I'll respect that. Lilac says activate all of them. I don't know. At the moment, that seems to be only Lilac saying that. I saw... The other one Lilac specifically mentioned was Harn, which is the one that would give more stamina for Angel. Maybe we use this as a middle ground rather than going absolutely all in on the Titan Stars here. We can roll with this.
I wonder what this the one that shall not be named on. The results may vary.
It gives you an extra brain cell. It is the most powerful of all the Titan Stars for this reason.
The rites.
Alright, so it'll also be interesting to see how Murph chooses to answer the extra power that is coming from these Titan Stars. And then, on Angel's side, how does one capitalize on, well, Shaq, there's the extra brain cell, which obviously goes without saying, that is incredibly powerful. Oh, Lilac, I think, could we still do this one? I mean, technically, I guess we could still do this one, but I feel like it might be better to save it for the next go-around. Since both players are now at least partially through building their teams. What's up, Edgy Shrek? How's it going? Yeah, I don't think we have a queue at the moment, so you are welcome to create the front of the line, in that case. Oh, I suppose Makas was expressing interest in getting in a little bit later on.
Interesting. Moon sign.
Tizo.
It's the moment, perhaps, that Makas was waiting for.
Do I go... Or do I switch it? Mm-hmm. So.
Well. Rookie.
Wait, did we get a Kerfang Rookie and then a Jomir's Fang Rookie on the other side? Which is unfortunately, it doesn't let you look at your own exiles once you take them, which I think is kind of silly, but...
It is Jomer's Fang, yeah.
Actually, speaking of which, does anyone know, those who are more experienced when it comes to modding Pyre, would that be possible for us to change that via mods to allow you to see your own characters that you've already locked in and selected? Like we just saw there, Murph trying to click on Rookie to see what Rookie had. Would that be doable?
I thought it was Titan Tooth, but I don't know.
Is
I
that
thought I
Titan
saw...
Tooth? It's the legendary.
Yeah, I thought it was legendary. Yeah.
I'm not very good. Oh yeah.
I mean, the effect is quite different from the Kerfang, but on the other hand, Jomir is a Kerr, so it's kind of just a rebranded Kerfang. Yeah, I don't know that it's a huge thing, but it's just every once in a while, it would be a nice little convenient thing to do. Not a game changer, but if that is something we think might be possible, maybe it'd be kind of nice. Now, Speedy Pamitha in the last spot for Angel, and here we go. Remember, we have some Titan stars, namely extra stamina from Harn, which is all the Titan stars are benefiting Angel, and the other ones being the one that shall not be named, giving the extra brain cell. And then the other one was Shax, right? So if everyone gets banished on Angel's side, everyone will instantly respawn.
How sad for that one there.
Pamitha. Ooh, nearly made it in there, but last second save from Tizo.
Titan stars can't improve my team. We'll play connection.
Stowaway. Passes back to Pamitha with the Bright Wisp. Pamitha stopped again, though. The opposing Pamitha now. Harp pushes her way through.
Now to the fame.
Murph seemed like he could anticipate that stowaway salute incoming. Had planned accordingly for, whoa, a humongous Kerr cast, courtesy of that Jomir's Fang that we were talking about before. More defensive Kerr setup, which you tend not to see, but you know, there are some merits to it. Maybe it's just that it catches people off guard because of how unusual it is, but it can be half decent.
The orb has hit the mark.
Now the harp throw,
The right is nearly
with that, it may mean one score would be all that Murph would need here. Here comes Pamitha for Murph. She's stopped, temporarily, at least. Gets some banishments, but meanwhile, the other Pamitha, for Angel, just a little bit off the mark.
and it is
And there's Murph for the win.
the accusers prevail.
GG.
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 Overwhelm their adversaries utterly. Thus end this night's proceedings.
Well played, you two. Alright. Let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
I think I am getting a little bit of echo from one of you guys for what it's worth. Don't know.
I'll turn up my sensitivity, see if that makes a difference. Voice settings.
Yeah, do you think it's you? Because
Is that
I
any
keep muting
better?
my mic.
Okay, we do have an arena request for this next one, which will be sending us to the boat.
Ooh.
This is not even from Lilac. This is Etchy Shrek.
Oh.
Anything else we'd like on top of that? Oh, right, wait, I forgot that Lilac had an exile request a little while ago that we were kinda sorta holding on to, because it came just as we were starting up. Okay, so we have from Lilac, just to clarify, Lilac, is that one Almer per team? Like each person uses Almer? One Almer total. Okay, so does that mean we're basically talking Almer versus Oralek? Coin flip who gets which? Okay, I see. Alright, so one person is getting Almer, the other person is getting Oralek. Do either of you have a preference as to which one of those you take? Otherwise, Lilac is proposing that we flip a coin.
I'll take the Almer.
Almer for you, Murph?
Yeah.
Okay, so Almer for Murph, that means Oralek for Angel. The rest, I believe, though, is up to you two to take whatever you'd like.
Did you turn off the Titan Stars? Are we...
Oh, that is a good point. Actually, does the Titan Stars hangover effect only exist for the ones that give direct stat boosts? Or would Angel actually have a stamina penalty for this next match? We should do a quick little start the match, restart the match, just to get rid of any sort of Titan Star hangover effect.
Titan Stars.
I think we're good. Oh, and also, we're definitely good now. We're definitely good now. My God.
The accusers.
Oh
take
no.
The essence.
Alright, well, it is Team Almer for Murph, and it is Team Oralek for Angel.
The rights.
I think you can put them wherever you want. I don't necessarily think they have to go first, or at least Lilac didn't specify. If that does affect your strategy at all. But it is an Almer lead for Murph. Right, I'm not sure, Makos. Because, exactly, you can't... It's not obvious, visibly, at least, like on the selection screen here, if it happens, so you'd really just need to notice it in-game, which is a lot harder to be precise and know definitively, if that's the case. I don't know, I think this boat's a little big to be a rowboat. Maybe that's just me. At least with a single oar. Right, so Murph does still take a demon, though obviously not Oralek, it's Ignarius instead. Nah, it's more like... the physics are not working in his favor there. An extremely heavy, shipwrecked boat that he is trying to propel with a single oar. Good luck. Alright, it will be a speedy Oralek, no less. on the boat. It's dangerous. Look out. We could be about to see some Air Orlac Express.
It's a deluge.
Exploding Deluge is the last choice for Murph. Last for Angel is a legendary talisman for Tizo for the infinite stamina. Here we go. Team Almer for Murph, Team Orlac for Angel, and there's a little bit of boat magic. Nearly a lot more had Orlac hit one more puddle in the process, but oh, there's Iggy returning the favor. So that's a 30 damage plunge there for Murph, but now no Iggy in this round, which means a little more room for Angel to maneuver.
The orb.
Almer.
A second wind.
Now Deluge. Now Almer again. He'll throw it in for 20. Whoa! Looked like the stowaway was in there, but down she went. Awfully close from Tizo as well, but instead, it's Murph on the counter. Oh, and the throw is slightly short, but on the second attempt, able to get that one in, though for slightly less, only the partial 11 damage rather than the full 15 there.
Yes.
Here's a 20 damage plunge for Angel. That coming from the stowaway. And Orlac is flying all over the place, and so is Iggy! Oh my goodness. There's some boat magic for you. Ignarius again. Oh, over the defenders and in for a 30 damage plunge. Flying demons galore indeed.
Just once more.
But no Iggy in this round at least. Oh, and close for the stowaway, but not close enough. Orlac might not have wanted to leap that far on that occasion, and Murph with just enough damage on that throw
GG.
to finish the job.
Outperformed their
That was
adversaries.
interesting.
Embracing the boat magic,
It's complete.
perhaps? I don't know what you're talking about, Makas. I definitely did not almost say that.
Until the stars.
You definitely almost said that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I totally stopped myself before I said that. Well, alas, let us know if there is anything we would like to do for the next one. Now that we do have, I think, a couple of people waiting in the queue, we may look to make that switch somewhat soon, if that works.
Yeah, I
For
think
you guys?
I'll dip out.
Yeah, maybe Makas is just living rent-free in my head. Maybe that's what it is.
I think I'm getting.
Oh dear. Your game may have just crashed. Maybe your game knew what was coming.
Yeah, I think my game has crashed. My controller does not do anything, so it must have subconsciously known. Oh no. No,
Maybe I might have been
No, I
tapped
think
out.
you tapped.
Did I tap out? I don't know.
I have
You're
no
player
idea.
2, so I don't
But
think
nothing-
your controller does anything on the main menu anyway.
That's true.
No, my controller does absolutely zero.
What about
So
the
it-
bumpers?
Your bumpers, maybe.
Yeah, did the bumpers do anything?
Oh
Yeah.
yes. The
Okay,
bumpers,
no,
yeah.
you're in then.
Just
well-
my joystick was-
As for whether that's a
You.
good thing or a bad thing, I leave that up to you. Oh, okay.
But
Wait,
it
technically...
means anyway.
You see, there's an exiles request for all saps,
Oh my. Doesn't
which
this like crash
I
the
thought-
game or something?
it can crash the game unless you take specific precautions. Technically, whether this was planned or not, I don't know, but Lilac immediately followed up with something that actually does prevent the game from crashing with all saps. I believe. Is that right? Do you still need the cursed talismans if you go no masteries and all those saps? Because you don't get the saplings when you I think you probably still do, though, right? I think you still do. Yeah, right? Because if you place them manually, the game would still get very mad at you. Okay, so let me get Angel back in here. Oh, unless, Angel, were you saying you were going to swap out permanently there? Or happy to get you back in if you'd like. Yeah, basically the game implodes if you ever have more than 4 saplings. So, not having any masteries on the saps helps, sort of, but you really need the cursed talisman that prevents one of those saps on each team from playing a sapling altogether. Okay. Oh, wait, I saw Angel hop in for a second and then say something, and I didn't catch what it was.
Dropping out. So
Dropping
I
out?
think it's
Okay.
time for another player.
All right. Well, in that case, I think it was either Edgy Shrek or Macaws. For what it's worth, Edgy Shrek was the one who made this all saps request, so part of me feels like karma says you ought to be the one to get in here to experience, reap what you sow. Or we could have Lilac pop in for a little bit. No, fine. Okay, let's get Edgy Shrek in here then. To experience this wonderful, wonderful match of all saps with no masteries, and we will need to do some cursed talismans as well. But let me get you an invite. Let's see. Remind me, Edgy Shrek. Is your Steam name also Edgy Shrek? Oh, yes, it is. Okay, there you are. Then at the Glade... Oh, the Glade is brutal.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yes, it's thematically fitting. However, it is a very small arena, which with really slow-moving saps that have large auras and saplings that add even more auras, it is going to be a minefield out there that is going to be nearly impossible for players to break through. Whatever the sap song is. Technically, you have 2 options. You can go... Grand Ceremony is the theme of Manly / the Chastity, or alternatively, you can do Volfred's theme, which would be... Wait, I went past it, didn't I? Certain Plan. No, Murph's on controller. The game is just a little confused at the moment. Did we get you in, Edgy Shrek? Let me give you controls. And then you may prefer swapping some of these things around. Alright, so in the meantime, while we're setting this one up, chat, get your popcorn, grab a snack, a beverage of your choosing. This one could be a while. For what it's worth, we were alluding to this previously. We were talking about what was, at one point in time, our longest match ever. Generally speaking, a whole bunch of saps is the way to make that happen. There have been some more recent sap tech developments that have accelerated the pace of most sap matches, but with no masteries, I don't know. I think all bets are off. Did we have...
Are we also no talismans here?
Yeah, let me double... I see that that's checked off right now. I'm just double checking. I didn't think we had that. All saps, no masteries, but I think we still... Oh, we need talismans. Yeah, no, there's at least one talisman we must use to avoid the game... having the game crash. We at least need that. No, Edgy Shrek comes in and says, the only talisman anyone will have will be the cursed talisman. Okay, well, there we go. Edgy Shrek, you made this bed. Oh, let me, hold on. Let me set you up here. Now it is time to lay in it, though. That's not how you spell Shrek. Okay, and Beyonders, Edgy Shrek? Rather than the essence? Oh no. I mean, we might as well, Lilac. We might as well at this rate, right? It's already cursed enough. Okay. We're turning on the Titan who shall not be named. I think its influence was already here on this match.
The Titan stars.
Okay. Well, here we go. I hope you guys are ready. Oh,
The accusers
this is interesting. Okay.
shall now face the Beyonders.
So,
Welcome.
all saps. No masteries. The only talisman you can take is the first one. The black... of the cursed talismans. The Black Claw. Because that prevents you from casting. So that is the way to make sure we do not accidentally create so many saplings that we destroy the game. So take that on whoever you would like, but that is the only talisman that you are allowed to take, period.
Wolfred.
Be interesting to see which of the saps the players like the least and give the cursed talisman. It's not Volfred, it seems, not for either of the players.
Wolfred.
Now, we usually leave the triumvirates up to the players. Pick whatever they'd like. It's manly for Murph. Okay. Likewise for Angie Shrek.
Sap.
Palmas also
Sap.
able to walk away without the cursed talisman. And here we go. I hope you guys are ready. I have no clue how long this rite is going to last. It's been a while since we have seen a triple sap request, and I'm sure even longer still since the last we saw triple saps with no masteries and the only talisman being the necessary cursed talisman. What I will tell you is that usually the nature of these matches are quite different. Obviously, far slower paced than we may be used to seeing. And given, well, in large part because of the lack of mobility that the saps have, but also the large auras of the saps themselves and the saplings that they create makes it very hard for players to progress and get into an actual scoring position. Usually you can see it coming when it's happening, but because it takes a while to develop. But it is few and far between those sorts of opportunities. And of course, sometimes the other player will be able to prevent their opponent from capitalizing on those opportunities. But it's a lot more of a positioning battle because it takes so long to get into a scoring position and because it takes so long to score from that scoring position. Again, you're not really surprising many people, or not surprising your opponent with your attack. It's more so just, can you manipulate the arena in such a way, as we see here, to carve out just enough time and space to get, in that case, a partial damage throw. I suppose the plus side to us not having any masteries is that one of the other reasons why all sap matches tended to be the ones that were far and away the longest was because, of course, saps have rekindling, or at least they can have rekindling, and with triple saps, you could have as much as 150, or throw in the RITE NITE talisman, and 170 life on your second bar, and that's more than you start off with. So that can, of course, more than double the length of the match. We won't see that here, since we don't have any masteries and no one will have the RITE Light Talisman. But as I was saying, our first rite that was long enough for us to call it the longest rite ever was north of 40 minutes. That one was actually 2 saps and 1 imp with the cursed talisman that prevented it from picking up the orb. That was the origin of Speedy Volfred versus Quarterback Manly. We had, in the meantime, had a few rites that actually exceeded that one in length. But then, as I said, more recently, we've seen times when players seem to have figured out more ways to manufacture offense out of the saps, as we see there. Edgy Shrek able to get a 25 damage throw in. So it's less common that we see the sap matches take as long, we haven't had anything come anywhere near 40 minutes in quite some time, in large part because people have found ways to play saps more offensively, more effectively than they did before. But it's also been a while since we last saw triple saps request, as I was saying, so who knows? Who knows?
Dangerously close.
But a lot of it can come down to things like this. Can you establish control of the arena, the placement of your saplings and your saps themselves, either blocking your opponent from making their way through or creating some relatively safe places from which to throw the orb or an avenue through which to attempt to rush the pyre. But of course, these are saps we're talking about. Nothing is a rush. Everything has to be slow and methodical. And you could make the case that also means that mistakes are more punishing as well, because it takes longer to recover from them. But another thing that you sometimes see, as we're seeing a little bit of here with Shrek, was you can start to lay siege on your opponent's pyre a bit, surrounding it with all those sap and sapling auras, making it very hard for them to escape, and even if they start to do so, if you win the orb back, you might not be far away from being able to turn around and score. The saps do, of course, by default have the longest range throw. It's slow to charge it up. It is unblockable from some ranges, though I think Edgy Shrek was just a little bit out of range there. So this is a different kind of test for our players, without a doubt. Not the kind of match that I think many people practice, and can't say I blame them for that. Of course, we do see people take 1 or sometimes even 2 saps of their own accord. They voluntarily do so. But it's a distinct difference between 2 saps and 3 saps, especially if we're talking no masteries and functionally no talismans either. But here you see, this is more or less exactly what I was talking about. Shrek circling around Murph, making it very hard for Murph to go anywhere. Now, not directly on top of Murph's pyre, so still a little bit of work for Shrek to do to get into a scoring position, but is still able to get an 11 damage throw in there. And it's easier said than done to set up that kind of opportunity. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes planning. Oh, but Murph defenseless there, and so time for Shrek to plunge for 25. Now, that may have been the quickest way to score there, but it does mean that, of course, with no prayer beads, Shrek is now down 1 sap. And that, obviously in any match, can be significant to be down 1 character, but may see Murph now with a distinct advantage positioning-wise. Murph, you can see circling around, trying to do just what we were talking about before, and maybe learning a bit from what Shrek was doing earlier. Trying to flip the script a bit, and now it's Shrek who's defenseless. And does Murph resort to plunging. No does have time for the throw, and that could be significant. As we just saw, it seemed like there was a lot more space for Murph to use there. Much easier for Murph to close in on the opposing Pyre when there was one fewer sap to deal with. And again, you know, in a quote-unquote normal match, maybe one score isn't that big of a difference. You can find ways to get a quick answer, a quick score of your own, but nothing is quick in these matches. So every score can be significant. Especially if we're talking a full 25 damage, that can be hard to come by. Now granted, if Shrek can manage to get either a full damage throw or plunge directly, that would be enough damage to finish the job. As we were saying, there is no rekindling because there are no masteries, but then again, here's Murph with time for a full 25 damage throw. Murph is learning, getting some more successful attacks here, obviously with the scores, but also just generally applying more pressure than we saw at the beginning of the match. As I said, this is not easy, and it is not something that players are very accustomed to doing, so there definitely is a learning curve. We may be witnessing that in real time here. And remember, that Curse Talisman technically does mean that one of the saps on each team will still have an aura when they pick up the orb. However, that aura is going to be shrinking over time and therefore smaller than any of the opposing sap or sapling auras, so for all intents and purposes, it's just about useless. And it means that that sap is not allowed to place a sapling. Now, we had a little bit of a stalemate there in the middle of the arena. As I said, a bit of a positioning battle. Now a rare sap race. But Shrek doing just enough to cut Murph off there. Both players setting back up, though. Trying to build a wall of auras. Either a staging ground from which to launch an attack, or a defensive barrier. Very hard for the opposition to break through. Oh, but a daring maneuver there from Murph. Single sap trying to venture forward in. Came somewhat close.
Now to the flame.
As I was saying, sometimes, though, making those kinds of daring moves can be more punishing if they don't work out. But Murph's still able to get all the saps back and in position, so didn't come back to bite him on that occasion. Oh, and once again, very aggressively venturing forward. Can see the strategy evolving for both players, I think, as we are now more consistently finding ourselves in this standoff situation in the middle of the arena. Can either player find a way to break through? Shrek made a move, but oh, look at this! Murph was ready and had that other sap ready to go next to the Pyre for a 25 damage plunge. It does mean that now one full damage score for either player would be enough. However, we saw on the one prior occasion when someone plunged, it was Shrek. There was a lot more room for Murph to maneuver, and it led to what might have been Murph's first score, and from there, Murph built some momentum. Now, of course, it's the other way around. Murph is down one sap, and this could be the deciding score for either player, so this is not the time Murph wants to be at that sort of disadvantage. Oh, but Shrek made a move. Murph able to stop it. Deliberately throws at his own Pyre to bounce the orb back out. It conveniently landed within the aura of his sapling. He just can't make this stuff up. Oh, goodness. Murph is defenseless, but is Shrek quick enough? No, at least not quick enough to stop Volfred from respawning here. Now Palmas as well. Remember, some ranges those sap throws are unblockable from. Apparently that was not quite close enough for that to be the case. Oh, but Murph, he somehow faked out the defense and blinks in for the win. GG.
say they managed to avoid defeat.
Well played, you two. What a
Right
match.
is done.
Holy moly, indeed. GG.
Until
And then Shrek played a primary role in setting up this match. Says, I never want to do that again. Well, now you know. Perhaps now you know why we do not often do triple sap against triple sap. Every once in a while, sure, but
now.
what was that like? What was the experience like?
Bad.
Scarring. Well played, though. It was very interesting to see the way in which you both were playing definitely changed throughout the course of the match as you both started experimenting with different strategies and finding things that did and did not work. Definitely evolved over time. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But, you know, never
Maybe
again.
like one per lifetime is good enough.
Exactly. All right, we've checked it off the bucket list. We're done. Okay, and now, perhaps fittingly, Core comes in and says, all right, for this one, we're going to leave this one totally up to the players. No requests from chat. We need a way to just cool off a bit and forget about what we just experienced.
Go.
Lilac is displeased. Alright, well I know we were also looking to get Macaws in the relatively near future. So maybe what we'll do in that case is maybe we'll make this the last one between Murph and Shrek so that they can at least get one normal match in against each other. And then we can swap in Macaws. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Alright. In that case, let's get going. Now, I will be very interested to see, now that they can both choose whatever team they would like, how do they respond from that all saps match? Do they then both take the fastest teams possible to try to make up for it? I mean, anything is going to feel fast relative to what they just did.
Who shall conduct the rites?
For what it's worth, we also did just go from one of the smallest arenas to the largest arena. So, another way in which this match will contrast from the previous one.
Been a while. I think it was.
Tay.
So is this now just business as usual? Or do the players mix things up a little bit to overcompensate for what they lacked last time?
Sir Gilman.
Well, it is a speedy Jody. As to whether Murph would have taken that in a vacuum, only Murph could say.
What? I've never taken Speedy Jody. Never done that.
I mean, it's a fairly popular pick. But it does also, it is understandable, given how slow the previous teams were. Then on the other end, there's also the speedy throws, which is what Shrek goes with there. That's another thing that was distinctly lacking from the previous match. And that's what, probably 3 minutes faster than the first score from the previous match? I don't know. Something like that. It wasn't that long relative to, as I said, some of our previous all-sap matches. I don't think we came anywhere near 40 minutes. Thankfully. Well, there were the vanishing throws, although actually, Murph able to momentarily, get the orb back, and a little bit of a misplay there, as Shrek had meant to throw that one into the Pyre, presumably, but it came out just a little bit short, and now suddenly, it's going the other way with a 30 damage plunge from Murph's demon. Now, no prayer beads for Jody, though, so she's gone in this round. So that leaves just Pamitha for Murph right now. Does have infinite stamina, though. And that does help Murph maneuver around the opposing demon and in for a 20 damage plunge. Gilman. Now the stowaway. Down she goes. And Murph, oh, intercepted there. Big leap from the stowaway, but Tizo's still able to chase her down. And now Tizo doing it himself with an 11 damage throw. That is just enough to be significant, because it does mean that at least with Jody, it is possible for Murph to finish this with one score, and then switches into Jody and does just that. GG.
Their adversaries must be crying tears of shame.
All right, well played, you two.
The ceremony is complete.
Yeah. My nerves are all whacked out right now. I am sorry, but I don't think I can get it.
Until the next
And can you bring in McCoss instead of me?
Oh, I mean, you're welcome to stick around, of course. If you'd like. I mean, totally up to you.
No, I am not able to play at optimal state right now.
All right. If you'd like to
The
swap
sap
out.
game just took it out of him.
That's, I mean,
It's
honestly,
unfortunate.
understandable. Honestly, I totally understand
It
that.
was a marathon.
The mental toll of completing that sap match weighs heavy on everyone, especially the players. Especially the players, of course.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh.
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by, Shrek.
It was
And you know, we've learned
interesting
things today.
experience.
It was an experience. We can say that much. All right. Well, in that case, Edgy Shrek is going to swap out. We can look to get McCoss in. Did we have anyone else in chat who wanted to hop in? I thought I might have seen Lilac expressing interest at one point. Did I make that? Or anyone else for that matter?
Yeah, I'm still fine to drop out if someone else wants in.
Oh, and I didn't double check with McCoss, but I did just send you an invite. I hope, I assume that now is still a good time to get you in. Lilac, I may or may not have just asked you if you were interested in getting in. Also, did we lose McCoss? McCoss! No! Well, Lilac says yes, interested. So if McCaw has unfortunately gone missing, we could get Lilac in now, and then once McCaw makes a return.
Here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I was about to say we could get you into the next one, but okay, no worries, no worries. So in that case, what if we do, just for the sake of maximizing the number of unique matchups we have, what if we do one between Murph and McCoss, and then we'll swap Murph and Lilac? How does that
Sounds
sound?
good to me.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
Stay for one more.
All right, let me set up McCoss. And True Nightwing's McCoss?
Yep.
Very nice. As everyone knows, the most stylish raiments of the downside. Alright, and is there anything setup-wise we would like to see between these two? For what it's worth, I imagine this will probably be our only match between Murph and McCoss, as we are looking to get Lilac in soon. So maybe for that reason it makes sense to leave it up to these two to take what they'd like. So why don't we jump in? Do I hear a boat? I do hear a boat. A random boat. Alright, well, it's up to the players here. We'll see to what extent they choose to embrace the boat magic. But it is here. Oh, heads up. You have a hangover effect on Jody. She has -2 quickness.
-2 quickness should like underflow to lightning speed.
That would actually be incredible. Right, well, it is Iggy on one side, Stowaway on the other. We have Lanthorn Tizo, second choice for Murph. Oh, and then Nutrition Stick on Manly. Now, read into it however you will, but we did see in that All Saps match previously that both players put the Curse Talisman on Manly. So it seemed like they were of the opinion that Manly was their least favorite sap. So to see McCoss come in and make him the preferred sap is a interesting perspective. Prayer beats Pamitha. Last choice for Murph. And now McCoss with a leeching and saluting Crone in the last spot. So here we go. Our first and likely last matchup, at least of the day, between Murph and McCoss. Here comes Iggy, and he'll jump in, finger guns and all, for 30 damage. But it means no Iggy in this round, which means a little more room for McCoss to work with. And here is the aforementioned Manly, and he can blink straight in from there, courtesy of that nutrition stick. But now he's gone in this round. So both players taking a plunging approach, and that was nearly the case. Oh, that was still a throw that McCoss was able to get off. Honestly, I thought that Bertrude got banished there, and the orb just was flying out of her grasp. But then here is Murph answering with another 30 damage Iggy plunge. Stowaway somehow teleported onto the orb and yet didn't pick it up there? That's odd. I don't know if I've ever seen that. A little bit of boat magic of the Crone variety. Now that's pretty unusual, but McCoss makes it work there. Setting up the 30 damage plunge for Bertrude, but now she's gone in this round. Lots of plunges in this match. And that was an interesting way in which to throw that one in for 20 as the Stowaway got knocked back a bit. And once again, the Stowaway lands on the orb but doesn't pick it up. Is there some way in which McCoss is making that happen on the regular? I'm not sure, but here is the Stowaway. And the throw intercepted at the last second. Murph trying to find a way through with a very dangerous portal now set up, courtesy of Tizo. So McCoss in possession and plunges again, resetting that portal and setting Murph down to just 15 Pyre life. So one score might be all that McCoss needs. And in doing so, McCoss has also leeched up a fair bit of Pyre life. So even after that 30 damage plunge, McCoss can still take a couple of hits here. And a snipe of a throw from the Stowaway to seal the deal. GG. He's switching to the sap after teleporting. But then, if you have a character on the orb, you cannot not... If a character has the orb, you are required to be controlling that character. The fact that the Stowaway is standing on top of the orb and not picking it up is still very unusual. And technically...
Yeah, it's a weird interaction specifically with the teleporting Savage, so I'm switching to the other Exile while she's in the teleport animation, so it locks my pick in to whatever Exile I switch to. So it's the only situation that I'm aware of that you can put in Exile on the orb but not pick it up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, yeah, it's not great against Demon on point because he can just run up and banish me, but like on smaller presence characters, or it's just a decent little mix-up you can do sometimes.
Yeah, I would have expected that it would basically, the game would force you to then switch back to the Stowaway as soon as she lands on the orb, but I guess not.
Yeah, it's just a cute little trick.
Yeah. I think
there you
can
go.
sort of do it with like the Nomad Guardian Shield thing too, right? Like
Yeah.
cover the orb with your aura. But only for a short amount of time with that one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That one I haven't messed around with as much, but that seems likely. Yeah, because I guess you can switch mid-jump.
Yeah, but in that case, like, I get that. It's just that when you are physically standing on top of the orb and your character is not picking it up, that just seems very counterintuitive. I don't know.
All
Maybe
right,
that's
well,
just me.
I will drop out then.
All right, thanks for stopping
our
by, Murph.
Next attendee. Yep.
GG's.
GG's.
All right. And I believe that means that Lilac, if you are still interested and available, we can get you in here. Does that work for you? Is Lilac... Hold on.
Why, hello there.
Hello. Just checking to see if, you're using your actual name or if you're attempting to commit identity fraud again.
No, why would I do something like that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you attempted to commit identity fraud last week?
I would never do that.
We may have video evidence to the contrary.
I've learned my lesson, Liz. I'm a changed exile. Scout's honor.
I don't know about that.
Why?
I don't... Identity theft is not a joke, Lilac. We've been over this.
I'm not impersonating you this time, I swear. Like,
Well, I'm not
actually.
seeing you light up on Steam at the moment. Which does make me wonder what username you have this week.
Well, my profile is public, and I have Steam open.
Does it say you're in a different game right now? No. Is this you, or is this Chewing Dragon?
Who? Who are you referring to?
The person whose Steam name is Falcon Ron?
Ah! That might be me, yes.
So we are committing identity fraud again.
No, we're not!
You don't say!
You don't know who I am, IRL. I could be Falcon Ron for all I know.
Whoa. Falcon Ron and I are besties, okay? We do, for what it's worth, have some requests incoming for this one.
Who's it from?
A little birdie?
Is it Core?
A little birdie who told me you guys should go sap first on the Nest of Triesta with Grand Ceremony.
That was just uncalled for.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Also, I will go Fate this week.
Did you get in? I think I sent you the invite.
Yes, I'm in. I'm
Okay.
in. Also, the sap extravaganza.
Was that your first time witnessing triple sap against triple sap?
I think so. You should consider yourself lucky that ended up happening because I had a completely different mega request
Oh dear.
that I was planning.
Oh no.
But I think I'm gonna hold off on that until another week.
Yeah,
so...
maybe we've had enough of
consider
the crazy
yourself
request for
lucky.
one day. I think you might want to remap the keys
Ah.
here. Do you have controls yet? No.
Uh,
Also, there's your video evidence once again of the identity fraud.
hey! No, that's me. That's me in real life.
You should have controls now, though, and I think this
Okay.
is not usually the setup that you use. So, heads up.
Okay, I think that's good.
Okay. So, reminder, requests are sap first, Nest of Trieste, and we have the song Grand Ceremony.
Hey Liz, do you have any like video evidence, or like have you ever been president?
Have I ever been president? Wow, what a question.
Been present while have you ever been present for any sort of antagonizing between Core and Macaws?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I was hoping that you'd have some sort
You're
of
trying to
video
sow the
evidence.
seeds of discord?
No.
You're trying to start something?
No, I'm trying to...
It sounds like you're trying to start something.
No, it's... Yesterday, Core said that he antagonizes everybody, and I was like, I'm not sure if I believe you. Do you have proof of that? And I was like, well, Core and Macaws play RITE NITE, both of them, so maybe Lids was there while they were antagonizing each other.
Welcome.
Is that such a... Is that wrong to
I
ask?
have no idea. No comment. I don't know. All right, so
I am not out to get you, Core.
the request
Shut
is for
up.
Sap first.
Of course. I made my
You
dad
said
all
Fate,
lie in
right,
it.
Lilac? Fate for your team?
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Carry on, Macaws. What just happened?
Hmm?
What just happened?
Hmm?
Hello? Did we break the game?
Wait. You
Oh,
used
the
describe stuff.
describe stuff on him,
Oh.
so you erased his masteries.
Okay, but where is the character select? Does that usually disappear?
When you scribe snuff, yeah.
Oh, also, wait, I just totally messed up who's listed where and on what. Hold on. One moment. This is all wrong. I changed.
The
wrong
yes, I'm
person
playing
out.
against Murr.
This was and remains the cost. I meant to change this one to I was like, why is Lilac talking about all this stuff when Macaws is setting up his character? Okay, hold on just a second. That means we have that. And
Yeah, I
we
have no idea what's going on now.
There we go.
When you're done, I have an important question to ask.
Oh.
Does Lou Scalorian have glasses? Does he wear glasses?
Oh.
Are these glasses, or are they like just markings on his face?
I think he has 2 monocles.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, ask Lou. Also, I'm pretty sure once you have 2, they're no longer called monocles, but...
Exactly, like why would you call them monocles if there's
But I mean,
2 of
I don't
them?
see
That would be
anything
like-
connecting them together. So,
I mean, there's this line here.
I think those
so
are his
maybe-
eyebrows, or whatever the sap equivalent of eyebrows are. Can you move your cursor now, or is it frozen?
Macaws.
I'm not player 1, I don't think.
Yeah, this is you, Lilac.
Wait, what? Why? But I'm the Fate.
Okay, no, hold on. One moment.
What? What happened?
I confused myself. Wait.
What happened?
Hold on 1 second. This is the true Nightwings.
Okay.
This is Macaws.
Yes.
Who's who
Yes.
and where is who and what is going on. That's Macaws.
Okay. Awesome.
This is Lilac. You are the Fate. You are the true Nightwings. There we go. Okay.
There we
Does
go.
that start to make sense now?
Finally, it's all coming. Oh yeah, it's all coming together now. This is why I love RITE NITE. You can't get entertainment like this anywhere else.
It's like, well, I mean, previously that was Murph, and that's so it's like, why isn't Murph selecting his team? Oh yeah, no, Murph left. Murph isn't here anymore.
Murph is no longer with us.
Oh no.
He's ascended.
It's like, is it Murph? No, it's not Murph. Oh, it must be Lilac. No, Lilac isn't moving. That's not Lilac. Oh, that's Macaws. Okay. F's in chat for Murph, coming from Murph.
Oh my god, Manly looks hot. That's so stylish. I think he looks even more stylish than Gareth, actually.
That's okay. You're allowed to be wrong.
Excuse me? Like, look at this. These colors go.
I mean, I've said it before. True Nightwing's colors are the best colors in the game.
It looks like his hand's just covered in blood.
That's because it is.
What? Care to elaborate on that?
I mean, you know that Manly lives a double life.
No, I didn't. I mean, I remember that atrocious Manly X-Reader fanfiction that I read one time, but that didn't involve anything about him leading a double life. Are you familiar with the Manly X-Reader fanfiction?
Hold on, wait, what talisman did Macaws take on Manly?
Oh.
This is important. Technically not the quarterback talisman, although it is close. Just seeing if and it would have been the same arena as well. It was nearly a recreation of that very match I was talking about before.
Someday we'll get it. Someday we'll get it. Someday we'll find it, that rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. Lids, are you familiar with Muppet Cinema?
I swear. Because if you put on the talisman that prevented Messenger Imp from picking up the orb. I shouldn't have said anything until you actually locked that in.
What's wrong with that?
Because that's how that match took place. I mean, it's not... Macaws has already deviated in a couple of ways, so it's not an authentic recreation at this rate.
The prophecy is already broken.
Exactly.
Darn.
Exploding deluge in the last spot for Macaws. And a leeching headwind in the last spot for Lilac. So alright, here we go.
Move.
Oh.
I am moving Lilac.
Ah.
Of course.
How interesting. Wait, Lilac, are you able to control as well? Or...
yes.
Okay, so both players are the Fate. You know, this feels like only fitting after what happened before this match started. 1 second, let me see. We move Macaws around here. What about now?
Playing the left side.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Positively brutish.
So this will be our first match between Macaws and Lilac today. And that is definitely a speedy Volfred. And again, it's a common misconception that is the quarterback Manly talisman. It is not. It is the quick throwing talisman, which does have some similarities to the quarterback talisman, don't get me wrong, but it is not the technically correct answer.
It's not the biblically accurate
Correct. Exactly.
setup.
Not the messenger imp.
Not the messenger imp! Anything but the messenger imp!
I had had no idea he said that. That's amazing.
Not the buttons, not the gumdrop. Oh, that's not even a good one. I used to have a
Wait.
really good.
What are you Wait, what are you quoting there? What were you
Wait, I
just
need to
quoting?
hold on. Let me get some water. See if I can actually do a better job of that.
Well, I dare say.
Oh.
Not the buttons, not the gumdrop buttons.
What? Gosh, what
She's
is he
married
doing?
to the Muffin Man.
An
The Muffin Man. The Muffin Man.
Gosh, what's happening?
It's the gingerbread man from Shrek. That's not as good. I used to be able to do it really well. That's not as good as
I've
it
never
was.
watched Shrek. Which
What?
would explain that. I've never
That's a
watched
crime.
Shrek.
That's a crime.
I have never watched Shrek. I've never watched any of the Shrek movies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
At least Shrek and Edgy Shrek is in chat. Edgy Shrek. You have to be with me here, right? That's unacceptable.
I'm sorry.
At least the first Shrek movie. Okay, like if you didn't watch the sequels, fair enough.
I wasn't allowed to as a child.
Oh. I don't know. I think this is immediately your homework assignment due tomorrow.
Okay.
Intervention.
Okay. Okay. I'll watch it with my friends.
As
this
you should.
week.
Yes.
There goes the orb.
Well, I'll watch Shrek together. I'm sure
Do it.
they'd love to watch Shrek
See,
with me.
The voice agrees. Do it.
The orb is up.
Sir, yes, sir. Mr. AJ, sir.
Meddlesome imp.
Wait, that also means the bad amputation joke earlier meant nothing to you. No!
Wait, the what joke?
That was also, well, I mean, that is a
Wait.
Joan Jett song that exists outside of the movie Shrek. That is
Wait, what-
always
what-
the thing that I
what-
think of when I hear that
Wait,
song.
what joke? Wait, what joke? It must have flown over my head.
There were several people saying amputation at the beginning. I thought you were one of these people. Maybe you weren't.
I think I misspelled the word amputation and then everyone was making fun of me for it.
And then that, I said, reminded me of the song Bad Reputation, which features in a scene in Shrek.
It's complete.
I see. I see.
See, it's all coming full circle here.
Until the stars align.
It's all coming together now.
Well, anyways, let us know, chat, if there is anything we would like to do for the next one. Otherwise, we'll just set ourselves back to our defaults here. That one was Sap first, Nest of Trieste, and find every way possible to mix up who is playing in which spot and using which team.
We succeeded, folks.
We definitely did in that regard. Give Macaws, Iggy, and a Cur for Shrek and Donkey. I mean, we were
What?
walking right into that
What?
one, right? It was gonna be a Shrek request of some variety.
Of course.
But it's Macaws who gets the Shrek. Are we? I mean, I'm just saying, Lilac is the one who has not seen Shrek. I mean, I don't know if Macaws has seen Shrek or not.
Indeed,
What's happening?
have seen the cinematic masterpieces known as Shrek.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so this is not lost on Macaws in that case, going with Iggy for Shrek and a Cur for Donkey.
Pilot the first ever Shrek build to greatness.
Yes, let's do it. Honestly, there's a chance this is not the first ever Shrek build. There is a chance that once upon a time,
There's
someone
a
previously made this exact request.
Once upon a time, you say?
Indeed.
The true Nightwings.
I'm hoping that's a Shrek reference.
I mean, I'm sure they say it
Welcome.
at some point.
Okay, so who does what?
Who
Who's
shall
doing what?
conduct
Help.
the rites?
So technically, Edgy Shrek just said that this is up to Macaws to recreate Shrek and Donkey. Now we could find some other Shrek-related characters to give to Lilac, Or we could find a third Shrek-related character to give to Macaws as well. I don't know.
Are there
Are we
any,
going
are there
all
any
in on
Shrek
Shrek for
characters
Macaws?
that are similar to Pyre characters in terms of vibe or personality?
I
Are
think
there any
Shrek Iggy is a decent shout.
Are there any stowaway-esque characters in Shrek? Asking for science.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the other. Like, you could do someone based on Pinocchio, someone based on the Gingerbread Man, Fiona, the dragon.
Glorious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of them would match up well with the stowaway.
Mm-hmm.
Would they?
So who do I pick? Also, who do I pick?
At the moment, there isn't any request affecting you. It's just a matter of
Okay,
whether we
okay.
voluntarily choose to double or
Okay.
triple down on what Edgy Shrek started here.
Well, I haven't watched it, so I'm just doing my own thing.
You're just living in an alternate Shrek universe.
Yes, exactly.
Puss in
Precisely.
Boots. That's a
Oh,
shame.
Puss in Boots, yes.
We don't have a cat though.
We don't. I feel like, honestly, closest thing you might be able to get is, yeah, I think so.
Say Tizo, there you if you
That's where
squint
I was
hard
gonna
enough,
go.
I can see Antonio Banderas there.
Also, for what it's worth, the more recently, I think there have been a couple of Puss in Boots specific movies, but the most recent Puss in Boots movie,
Yeah,
legitimately very good.
I have heard that, and I've really wanted to watch it.
Unironically, legitimately very good. Ari says Gareth could be Puss in Boots.
Canada.
I mean, from a style standpoint, I get that.
Monkey your best friend, so they're taking the rings.
Wait,
Who has the other ring?
wait.
Shrek does?
Shrek and Donkey.
Shrek and Donkey. And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
I need to watch this movie.
Sir Gilman.
Alright, well, here we go. It is Team Shrek.
Really,
on
all I know
Mikas's-
about
Speed
the
to the scribes.
really all I know about Shrek is like the memes.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Yes. Also what was that meme? Like they don't even have union or something. They don't even have dental care. That meme.
I don't even remember that.
My friends and I like recreated it one time.
Okay. I mean, there have been a ton of, I don't even remember how many Shrek movies they
I just
ultimately ended up
realized
making.
something. I just realized something that we should have done. Hold on, everyone, stop moving. Stop moving. Everyone, we should have done this at the Pit of Malith because swamp.
Oh, true. That is so true. Oh, great point.
Bang now, okay.
Let us all mourn for this lost opportunity.
Yes, that's true.
Remember everything which you hold dear. The accuser's pyre grows weaker.
Oh, but you know what this arena does have?
The wings
Is
have
it does have a
set
boulder.
true.
That is a very nice boulder.
Such zeal.
I'm assuming that's a Shrek reference.
Are there
Since
any
I
boulder?
haven't
There's
watched-
still a boulder or two in the Pit of Malith.
Bask in the purifying flame. The two triumvirates are neck and neck.
Well, anyways, as for the match itself, well, they were neck and neck until that very quick throw from Puss in Boots
Shall the
for
true
25 damage.
The orb.
Ooh, and suddenly, alternate universe Shrek, nearly able to capitalize on that opportunity. But main universe Shrek, almost with a quick counterattack. But Lilac recovers, only to lose all exiles. Puss in Boots strikes again, and drops Lilac down to 5. Oof, indeed. Lilac with Orlek. Gets the orb back, but loses Orlek in the process, and long and painful wait for him to return, that means. And in that time, Macoss able to charge in for the win.
Their adversaries confidently thwarted.
GG.
The ceremony is complete.
For a second, it sounded like Barker was saying PETA, like from Family Guy. Like, PETA, the horse is here.
Is it bad that, wait, what is the other? Is it Hunger Games, where there's also a character whose name is actually PETA without an R at the end, instead of just having a strong accent?
Yes.
Alright, well let us know, chat, if there's anything we would like to do for the next one. That one was Shrek-themed, at least for Macoss's team. As always, if you don't have anything in particular in mind, we can leave it up to the players. That works too. Not seeing anything immediately. So why don't we hop back in?
The true Nightwings versus the Fate.
This is Shrek's swamp
Welcome.
after cleaning it out.
Who
I
shall
see.
conduct
I
the
see.
rites?
Request for this one, you said?
No requests. All up to you.
Gotcha.
Sandra.
So it's a power casting Snadra first, for Macoss. It's a Speedy Gilman on the other side. Oh, another character we could have done for the Shrek 1. At least for Shrek... From Shrek 1, Robin Hood. I feel like that one would have been maybe a little bit easier to find a character for. But he's not as prominent.
Tizo.
Legendary Haoob's Wing for infinite stamina on Tizo. Macoss finishes with a speedy Bertrude in the last spot. Whereas Lilac takes some rekindling on Ruby.
Begin.
So all up to the players here. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out then. Has everyone down on Lilac's side. And oh, Macoss did get that off just in time. 25 damage from the Bertrude throw. She did go down. But all that matters was that she had released the throw, was on target. Spooky sidesteps, at least initially. Now it's up to Gilman. He's blocked, gets it back, and with Seize Chance active, that turns into now a 25 damage plunge. But it does mean he's now gone in this round, so a little bit more room for Snadra. In fact, everyone down at the moment here. So plenty of time for Macoste to throw that one in, and I believe get a little bit of leech from Snadra as well.
The accuser seemed to be falling behind.
Those power casts, big factor,
'Twas but a little
but not
scrap.
quite as much time that go round for Snadra. Gilman nearly wove his way through the defense. Stopped just shy of the Pyre, and speaking of, making it all the way into the Pyre, that is Macoste's Manly with the plunge there. The blink was right on the doorstep of the Pyre, was able to get that last little maneuver, make it all the way through. Gilman against Snadra. Those power casts, though, continuing to be an issue. Snadra continuing to follow those up with throws. This time it's 14 damage and a little bit more leech. And remember, although Macoste might have enough damage to finish this with one score, at least with the initial life bar, Lilac did take some rekindling. Here comes Macoste. Oh, tried to blink in again with Manly. That time, though, Lilac was ready and does set up a dangerous portal here. But Macoste is still in possession and snaking around with Bertrude and does trigger that rekindling. It's 20. So Lilac is still holding on, but at this point now it is possible for Macoste to finish this one. Any of his characters would potentially have enough damage, barring a very quick throw. I don't recall as to whether Lilac took any leeching. Not that it matters here, as that is enough damage for Macoste to take the win.
Their pyre yet burns with vigor and resolve.
GG.
The rite is ended.
Well played, you two. Alright, well, let's head on back
Until the next rite.
and let us know, chat, if there's anything you would like to see for the next one. That one was all up to the players. And of course, we could still do more of that if you don't have anything in mind for this go-round. And seeing nothing right now, it seems like chat's going a little bit easy on you guys at the moment.
Or are they?
I mean, perhaps that was an invitation, but I'm not seeing anything at the moment, so it looks like another— oh, okay. Lilac was saying that while setting up the customize off. We could do it for this one if you'd like.
Yay.
We can still fit that one in. Alright, so randomized Exiles, Masteries, and Talismans getting thrown straight into the action here. What will the players end up with?
The true night wings shall now
Macoste
face
gets
the fate
Crone, Sap, and I think that's Oralek. It is. Then for Lilac, it's double Crone plus a Nomad. And that is Macoste getting us started with a 30 damage plunge from his Crone. No prayer beads though on Vorfrit. She is now gone in this round. Manly, inching forward with the help of those saplings. Oralek now. Oh, but a double banishment, and Macoste's team does take a little while to come back from banishment, but Lilac's momentum goes into the sapling, and that opportunity may be gone now. On the largest arena as well, anywhere else, and Lilac might have been quick enough to still recover, but I think it bought just enough time for Macoste to get Manly back. Macoste shields off the cast well. Does lose Manly, but bought enough time at least for Oralek to make his return, and that of course is saying something, as does take a while for Orlek to come back from banishment, and he does have Luminous Idol, Macaws realizes, although loses him, but it is still
He gets
a
wonderful.
good discovery. Lilac makes it in for a 30 damage Crone Plunge here. Now it's Lilac who's down a Crone, and currently only has one Crone. In fact, that Crone goes down. Snadra returns though, but not quick enough to stop Orlek. We know Orlek does not have Prayer Beads because he has Luminous Idol. He will not be here in this round. Here's Vorfrith. She'll leap in. We know she doesn't have Prayer Beads either. So now Macaws with Manly and Orlek in this round. There's Luminous Idol kicking in. Oh, and the jump sets up the winning score. GG. Manly Jr. the GOAT. Perhaps. Perhaps. Well played, you two.
Until the stars align.
Alright, and let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. That was Customize Off. But will we go back to just letting the players take whatever they'd like for this one? That always is an option. Oh! Okay. 3 masteries. 3 masteries. Anything else, Murph? Or anyone else? In addition to what Murph has provided here? Or is that all we're looking for? Seems like that's it from Murph. Alright, so why don't we roll with that then? A slight nerf from Murph to all of the players' exiles. I hear water. It is the boat. Lilac is enthused.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Remastery.
Wait, so what's the request again?
It's 3 masteries. Which is an unusual number. In some cases, it might not make that much of a difference, depending on which class the players pick. Sometimes that 4th mastery is just a bit of an afterthought. So Macaws goes Cur.
Wait, so 3 masteries is the request?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Okay.
And it is set up such that the game will freeze you at 3, so
Okay.
it'll do it for you. Question is, do the players stick with their usual setups and just live with sacrificing one of those masteries, or do they have to fundamentally change their approach because of that one less mastery they have access to? As I said, some classes, it might not be that big of a difference maker, but others might make you think twice. And maybe Macaws feels like Curs are the solution here, as you can still get all the mobility with only 3 masteries. You just miss out on some of the plunging damage, so seems as though that's a sacrifice Macaws is willing to make here, as he went double Cur, and now Lilac maybe taking some inspiration from that. It does also mean you get to see the alternative raiment colors. which sometimes are a bit of a rare sight to see. Especially for the triumvirates that are a little bit less popular, and some of the classes that are a little bit less popular.
Baylor's flying doggos.
Oh! I mean, on the boat, no less. Give him a little bit of extra flying capabilities with that boat magic, although you tend not to see the curs on the boat all that much. Demons, of course, tend to get most of the attention.
Dalbert.
But it is triple cur from Macaws. Extra starting Pyre life on a harp, Hamatha. That's the last choice for Lilac. There's some extra airtime, but in the meantime, it is Macaws with the orb, and it is Macaws who is plunging. And that was a Prayer Beads cur, though I believe this is a different cur this time round, so I'm fairly certain that now, yes, Macaws is down one Dalbert. Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
There's some air Orlek action for you.
There we go.
Shall the fate press their luck, perhaps?
You know, I was talking about how the demons get a lot of attention on the boat, but there is, at times, good reason for that, as Lilac did just demonstrate. And here is Orlek, with another 25 damage plunge.
There we go. Ah.
Rookie. Looked like a little bit of an extra boost, courtesy of the boat magic, and with the Cur Fang, a little bit of extra damage as well.
Ah.
Oh, and look at that! Dalbert might have been the underdog there, but he came out ahead. Except Macaws now defenseless. That means time for Pamatha to charge up that throw. That's 20 damage. Remember, Orlek only has 25 damage at most, and that means I don't believe Lilac has enough damage here to finish this with one score. Although Orlek is a little harder to tell because that was closer to the Pyre, but it did seem like he got quite the launch that time as well. And at this rate, yes, one score could be sufficient for Lilac. Don't remember if we saw Macaws take any leech. I don't know that he did. Oh, and there's the boat magic again, kicking in and helping Orlek pop in for the winning plunge.
GG.
Definitely some slam in the jam on that match.
The rite is complete.
Well played, you
Lids,
two.
Lids, have you ever played, not played, have you ever watched Space Jam?
I actually have not.
You, wait, what?
No.
Okay. And you're getting mad at me for not watching Shrek.
I feel like
haven't
Shrek, to be
watched
honest, I
Space
feel like
Jam.
Shrek is more of a cultural staple than Space Jam is.
Yes, but Space Jam is a cultural staple to Pyre.
Alright, that is true. To a certain
It's-
extent, at least.
Like, it's Space Jam. It's. Do you not understand the
What's the,
significance of this?
There was the does anyone remember the basketball game from maybe like 20 years ago at this point, where it wasn't the standard like 2K, where it was just straightforward basketball trying to recreate it as closely as possible. It was the one where you could get like superpowers and your character could catch on fire if you scored a bunch of points in a row.
Wait,
and you could
what?
slam dunk from like half court. And
I
they had
do not think I
amazing
have-
one-liners like boom shakalaka. What was the name of that one? Because I feel like that's the closest thing I have to Space
NBA
Jam
Jam?
experience. NBA Jam, that's probably it. Yeah,
Okay, now I need to play NBA Jam.
yeah, that one's a classic. All right, well, we do actually have. Let me see. An exile request. one side with a stowaway, the other side with Almer. They are not allowed to banish each other. Core would also like to get in if possible. It is starting to get a little bit late, so if we were...
Oh, that's a new one. That's a new one.
If we were to get Core in, we may not have a ton of time to do that. What if we do this one between Macaws and Lilac, and then we could squeeze Core in after that?
Alright.
Alright. So, for this one, Almer on one side, Stowaway on the other side. They are not allowed to banish each other.
Wait, I didn't even fully hear the request. I thought it was just no one is allowed to banish each other.
No, specifically Almer and the Stowaway are not allowed to banish each other.
Okay.
If an illegal banishment happens, reset to neutral positions. On the rare occasions when we've done matches like this where there's a specific restriction that you need to abide by, we've typically made it such that if you violate the rule, then the other person gets a free score on you. That way it's kind of like, you know, it's a reason not to break the rules.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just resetting to a neutral position, it's kind of like, well, you aren't really being punished for breaking the rules. Oh, Lilac, careful now. You are treading dangerously close.
Huh? Huh? What do you mean?
Well, it's okay, you didn't use the word.
Wait, what word?
We've discussed it before.
The F word?
The F word.
What is the F word?
Alright, well, let's get this one
Falcon
started.
Is that the F word, Falcon Ron?
No, of course not.
The true Nightwings shall confront the
Oh, what a fitting
fate.
arena choice.
Welcome.
Okay, so remember, one Almer on one side, one Stowaway on the other. Almer is not allowed to banish the Stowaway is not allowed to banish Almer.
Alright.
Like, I assume you want Faye.
I would. Wait, what are you asking me?
Saying you would prefer Faye, right?
Yes.
Got you covered.
Many
Watch
thanks.
Macaws then just proceed to take the Stowaway nonetheless.
No!
Like,
don't,
oh,
do
well,
not
in
give
that
him
case,
ideas.
don't
Do not
mind
give
if
him
I
ideas.
do.
Don't give him ideas.
No. Ever the gentleman.
Macaws is a pretty chill guy from what I've seen. We've got. Oh wait, I don't think he plays RITE NITE anymore. I was gonna say we have cool guy, so is chill guy, but then I remembered that cool guy is only from like the old VODs.
I was surprised that you broke out cool guy. We've not seen cool guy in quite some time. This is true.
Man, wait, was the Stowaway and Almer request the only request?
Well, that and the whole they cannot banish each other thing.
Okay, so Talisman and Masteries.
Up to you.
Alright,
Yeah.
Okay.
Tay.
Now they're both
What
in the
happens if we
lead
banish
spot.
each other when we teleport?
Yeah, I was about to say you're both in the lead spot with that character. And did you both take the salute?
Yes.
Because that does complicate things a fair bit. Potentially.
Potentially.
We'll let it rock a little bit.
We'll see what happens. I
do you-
suppose
what do you
if they
mean
do
we'll let it
banish
rock?
each other simultaneously, then we could do the whole neutral position thing.
Messenger Imp.
Oh, I was so taken aback when I saw you take a 4th mastery there. I was like, what? Since when
That's
can you
not
do that?
allowed. That's illegal.
Arrest Bertrude. Oh, wait, she's already in the downside.
Is there like, do you think that there's like, I mean, Sandra is
I'm sorry, who
banished
is
to the
Sandra?
orb. Snadra. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes? Okay.
My apologies. Snadra is like banished to the orb.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And she's also on the downside. So like you could get banned, you could get exiled, you could get double exiled theoretically.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I suppose so. There's even a jail within. She's in solitary confinement, basically. If the downside is prison / jail, then the Beyonder Crystal is solitary confinement. Now, technically, of course, there's multiple people in the solitary confinement. It's a more solitary confinement, at least
Not
relative
long,
to the
though.
standard downside treatment.
Not for very long, though.
Sedeluge.
You, why would you pick that thing? Because
Deluge is awesome.
we are no longer friends.
Wow.
We're-
Harsh words.
That was a joke. That was a joke. For legal reasons, that was a joke. I was.
The lore master would know the only villain character canonically to apologize to the person he antagonizes is in fact Sir Deluge.
Okay, you have me there, but
Look at that.
okay.
Lacoste with
okay,
the quick counter.
Okay.
Touche.
You got me there, actually. I'll admit it.
All right, well, here we go. Remember.
Begin.
So she banishes me there.
Oh, yeah, technically, I was about to say, remember, you're not supposed to banish, or Almer's not supposed to banish the Stowaway, Stowaway's not supposed to banish Almer. If you do, then the other person gets a free score.
Yeah, the teleport really throws a monkey wrench. in things.
Yeah, you know, I
Alright,
did
I'll
not
give
realize
up
you both took that until
I'll
you
relinquish
had
my
locked it
score
in.
there for that new revelation.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna relinquish. I will sacrifice my free
wait,
score.
so I'm allowed to have the ball, so I'm allowed to.
Well, not anymore.
The fate's pyre
Purse.
is the first to
Purses.
alter. Oh,
Every time at the beginning of the round.
It's just too good to pass up. Like, it's like gambling.
Do you wait a
like-
split second to try to play it a little bit safe?
messenger imp did it.
I guess, but like every time it's like, okay, but what if the timing is perfect this time? What if the timing is perfect this time and we don't get banished?
It's a risk. Well, now the thing is, after plunging with Almer, Lacoste just doesn't need to worry about it at all.
The messenger
banish
imp
with anyone.
in. Someone there rose to the occasion.
Curious just how much thought you need to put into avoiding that situation, or if it's just a, you know,
By now,
I want to play normally, and if it happens to happen, oh well. Lacoste
barely a mark
sets up the
against
worm
that
throw,
flame.
but it's quick. Just 4, and I believe we saw Lilac take Stubborn Flame, which would reduce Lacoste's damage while he's in the lead. And that is especially noticeable on characters that have low base damage,
Now then,
such as Deluge, maxing out at
negligible effort.
5. So that's taking out 2/3 of his damage, whereas at least for some higher base damage characters, like his, I believe, typically 25 damage Imp, reducing down to just 15 damage, it's more palatable in that case.
No law against
But with
throwing
C's
your-
chance active, it is possible for Lacoste to still get a little more damage out of that worm. Here's Lilac with Orlek. Oh, Orlek vanished at the last second there. Macaws does have a portal, and does have that quick throwing imp, but not quite quick enough to get it off before going down. Stowaway taken out, and now Seize Chance active, which means a little bit more damage coming from Deluge. And it drops Lilac down to 15 Pyre life. Now that is a significant number, because as we saw, that is possible for Macaws to get. In some cases it does require conditional damage, in other cases it doesn't. His imp is actually his highest damage character.
The orb is up. It is what the scribes
But with that plunge, means just 5 Pyre life left, and at this point, any of Macaws' exiles would have enough damage, although with the worm it does need to be full damage on the throw, anything short of that, and it would fall slightly short. Here's Orlek. Oh, but he forgot the orb.
trickery.
Deluge for Macaws, sneaks around, explodes. Everyone down on Lilac's side means time for Messenger Imp. The dramatic pause, but Macaws takes the win.
Right wings prevail.
GG.
GG.
Was a glorious performance, I must say.
Well played, you two.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
All right. Well, let's head on back. And I believe Core was saying he was interested in getting in, and it is getting late, but if we were to get Core in now, we could maybe do one normal match for Core and then go into the Liberation Rite. We could maybe squeeze that in. So would anyone be available to swap out to create some room for Mr. Coranium here?
I'm good either way. Macaws?
I mean, yeah, I'm good either way too. I don't mind playing against Core.
Someone be more opinionated.
Core, who do you want to play against?
You're being too polite, both of you.
I didn't know that you could be too polite. I thought we were all supposed to be sportsmanlike here.
Core is throwing the gauntlet at Macaws' feet, it seems.
Aw, sick. Awesome. Great.
All right.
So that means I get to be spared.
In that case, that means I will kick Falcon Ron.
Yes.
Thank you for stopping by, Falcon Ron. All right, and let me get... Is Core showing up on the Steams? Not at the moment. Where is Core? It says you're offline at the moment, Core, for what it's worth. Which may or may
Farewell,
not be correct.
everyone.
Come on, Steam. Come on, Remote Play. There he is. Okay. Invite should be on its way. Now, if one of you could just confirm as to who is player 1 and who is player 2.
I'm bumpering right now.
Looked like you were changing something, but I wasn't sure what you were changing.
Toggling talismans on and off.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like Core's on player 2.
Okay. This is now Core, or is it Murph, or is it Lilac, or is it insert anyone else just to further sow confusion?
All
No, we're
Murph.
done with that. Okay.
What if there's only Murph?
It was Murph all along.
What if the Murph we Murphed was the Murph we Murphed along the way, you know what I'm saying?
Hello,
Exactly.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Hello, Core. How's it going?
I have a monologue prepared for the Liberation Rite.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right, well, we do have a request for this one. For what it's worth, I do think this will end up being our penultimate rite, the last one in which we take requests before the Liberation Rite. Lilac says... A masteries request that you can ignore if you want, but oh, no masteries for core? No talismans overall.
Yeah. I'm gonna take masteries.
It feels a little targeted. Alright, let's get this one started then.
So are we doing full no talismans, or is that also just for me?
I mean, there was no specification as to who specifically that talisman request referred to, so I assumed that meant it referred to both people.
You turned it off. Okay.
Who shall conduct the
So
rite?
just
No talismans.
No talismans.
This is weird.
This is still you on player one, right, Macaws?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
My brain hurts with no talismans.
Okay,
What do I do?
no worries.
How does this work?
no stimulus package.
I like being stimulated.
Just fully grown adults. And the things they have mastered.
No.
Maybe if I keep on pressing it.
She wants a trinket so bad. Look at her. She's got her hand out and everything.
It's true.
Please give Bertrude a trinket.
Bertrude.
Alright, well, it is Bertrude. No talisman, unfortunately. Well, no one's getting any this time round. It's Snadra in the first spot for core.
Let's see if my muscle memory will not fail me. Or rather, will fail me. And that I'll be consistently able to power cast without goals bracing.
Sauce also goes the Snadra route. Messenger Imp in the second spot for core. I mean, as we were saying previously, when it came to 3 masteries, some exiles may be affected more than others, and in this case, taking away the talisman, there are some characters people might be used to taking where there's just a clear and obvious choice for the talisman that gets so closely tied to that character that sometimes you forget. Yeah, no, that's not coming automatically. That extra ability, that extra utility, it's coming from the talisman. And neither player will get any of that here. But it is Snadra, getting us started with a 20 damage throw for core. And the Snadra is trying to exchange casts. Oh, core using that sap shield to set up Snadra for a 20 damage plunge. Of course, no prayer beads for anyone. Any plunging means that character will be gone in the next round. Core also using the sap shield on the imp. Now that's not something we've seen as much of. Nomad is almost always the go-to for that strat. Interesting to see to what extent Core ends up going that route. Now, of course, Snadra is gone in this round, so to a certain extent he doesn't have a choice. But right now, he doesn't have the choice to use the imp at all, as he waits for Messenger Imp's return. Here is Messenger Imp, and he flies in, has the extra damage as well, that's 25 rather than the usual 15. And of course he's coming from a mastery, so it is still possible. Oh, and look at that deft maneuvering from Snadra. The combination of the jumps and the shields. It means she's gone in this round. Oh, and Just not quite enough time for Makoss to sneak that throw in there. One score, potentially, all that the core would need, but here is Makoss answering with a 30 damage throw. Bertrude sneaks off to the side and uses her salute, except the sapling comes out and somehow still banishes Bertrude. Even after the crone uses her salute. She does come back though, and at least before any of Core's exiles return in their usual form, Makoss still able to capitalize on that one use per game crone salute, but for a minute there, Makoss was sweating. Or again, breaking out the shield even for the imp, and sets up the winning score. GG.
Fire burns whilst that of their adversaries is but ash.
Well played, you two.
The rite is done.
All right. Well, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And I think it's time. I think it is time for our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. So that means no requests from chat for this one. We'll be heading to the Fall of Solium. And we will leave this one all up to the players to finish things off in style. Now we'll go Never to Return Pyre Hearts edition, I suppose. And if you both are ready, let us begin. All right, Core has his monologue.
You think you can defeat me, Makoss?
Hear me,
You
exiles.
can't best me.
Welcome to the Fall of Solium.
Scribes
Each
have
of you
ordained
seeks
me.
to be free from this forsaken land.
I will be free.
We soon shall
Not
see
you.
who is the most deserving. True Nightwings, stand
End of monologue.
prepared. Firehearts, stand
Exit,
prepared.
exit stage left.
Who shall
All right,
strive
well.
for freedom?
As I was saying, this will be our final rite of the night, our liberation rite between Makoss and Core. So no requests from chat for this one. Both players just picking their preferred teams to finish things off in style. The talismans are back. The masteries are back.
We're back. We are back.
The talking cat emoji is also back. Alright, it's a quick throwing stowaway in the lead spot for Makoss. The cat, it's everywhere. There's no escaping it. It's a Prayer Bead Zoxiana in the first spot for Core. Then a harp. It's Pamitha in the second spot for Makoss. Titan-Toothed Dalbert is Core's second selection. Nutrition Stick Manly in the last spot for Makoss. And Core's last choice is a Leeching Bertrude. So alright, here we go, our final rite of the night. Makoss on the left representing the True Nightwings, and Core on the right representing the Pyre Hearts. Best of luck to you both.
almost got through. Twas dangerously close. Someone there rose to the occasion. Well, now that was exciting. Shabai. Alas for Tay. A mere attempt. Oh. Flung with force of will. No more than a lick of flame oh! Ah. Now go. And there it is.
Man.
GG.
The Pyre
GG.
Hearts proved
Well
their
played, you
worth.
two.
They surpassed their
I thought it was
adversaries
dead too,
in the end.
honestly.
Extremely close match. Well done.
Stubborn Flame helped me. Saved me.
Sorry, Mikos fans.
No, anytime you get a close match like that, especially in the Liberation Rite, regardless of who emerges victorious, you love to see it. Good matches. GG's.
Thanks,
GG's.
Lids, for hosting. GG's McCox.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. Well, as I was saying, that was our Liberation Rite, our final rite of the night, so I'm going to hop out, but I will catch you guys later. And I will also, let's see, do I need to free either of them from remote play? Be free, Mikos. There we are. Alright. Great googly moogly. I mean, that was a good one. That was definitely a good one, and as I said, you love to see it for the Liberation Rites especially. But that was our Liberation Rite, our final rite of the night, so thank you everybody who participated in the rites today, and everybody who gave us the requests in chat as well. This is, of course, Pyre Community Rite Night, and if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then the best way to do so is by joining the Rite Club Discord server, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. My name is Lids. I'm hosting these Rite Nights. My streaming schedule is weeknights. We're doing a combination of Path of Exile 2 and The First Descendant. Fridays, we're doing Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. Saturdays, Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. And then obviously Sundays, Pyre. Then Lids Vids on YouTube as well, posting the VODs for all those streams, so if you missed anything, you can catch it there as well. Also doing some Hades 2 videos straight to YouTube, in addition to our first ever Path of Exile 2 build guide video. You can check that out as well. And if you haven't done so yet already, of course, you can also hit the follow button to get a notification for when I go live. Also at Lids Vids on Twitter, I post there when I go live as well. But actually the best place to stay up to date on all things Lids is my Discord, which you can join by clicking on that link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight, so thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll catch you next time.